All right, welcome to another show of ARRIBA BOLSO, a historic show, the first time that we are ever broadcasting in English. As everybody knows, we usually do all of our shows in Spanish, but this is an absolute honor. As all of you know, we love to give basketball the attention that it deserves, and we have one of Nacional Basketball's possibly best players on the team, Connor Zinaich, live with us here on ARRIBA BOLSO. How are you, Connor?
I'm good, man. Nice to meet you, all the Nacional fans. Pleasure to be here. Love my time here and looking forward to giving you some thoughts on different things and just talking basketball.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So I know you've been in Uruguay now for, I want to say, over a month and a half. You were Manny Suarez's replacement originally. You came in. What were you expecting coming into this team who had just won the South American Championship and had started off the season so strong, going undefeated for so many games?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, coming from Chile, where I was playing really well, probably the best basketball in my career, until now. I've heard different things about the league. I heard it's very physical, which that's definitely true. It's Nacional, right? It's one of the biggest clubs in all South America. I'd be lying if I didn't say, I was a little like not nervous, but like anxious. Like I was excited. I wanted to test, my skills to come into an environment where the bar is set so high, and we're expected to keep that going. My goal was to come here and really not lose a game. I didn't want to be that guy to say, sorry, guys, like we didn't get the job done tonight. I knew that this could open up a lot of doors, not only for my career here, but, all over South America. I love the countries I've played in. And then obviously I knew for me, like I had to come in and just adapt to the environment. Like they're not going to adapt to me for 5, 6, 7, 8 games, however many games I played. And I knew I had to be very open minded and just try to like mold and gel with the team as much as possible. And that's all I've tried to do in my time here.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've noticed that's exactly what you've done, averaging, close to 20 points a game and a good amount of rebounds as well. And I see you, shooting from the free throw line. Usually you're pretty perfect when it comes game to game. So I imagine you practice that a lot. And in terms of your time overall in Uruguay, I know you said that you lived in Chile for a bit while you played there. How are you enjoying your time in Uruguay in terms of the people, the atmosphere, and the kind of the restaurants, the food? How are you enjoying that so far?
Yeah, man, I love it, right? I think the most unique thing about playing in South America is like the people, the fans of their respective team, no matter where it's at, whatever barrio they're in, they like die for their team. It's them or nothing, right? And they just have so much passion, right, for everything, football, basketball, it doesn't matter. And I can see that just walking on the streets, right, going to the mall, whatever the case may be. I try to talk to everyone, right? I'm a very approachable person. I'm not any better than any person. I just happen to be decent at basketball. It doesn't make me not approachable to talk to anyone. I love talking to people, giving back to the community when I can, helping the homeless out, things like that. The food, it's amazing, man, right? Like I love South American food. This, in my opinion, at least around here where I've been at, it's a lot more expensive than other countries I've been, but it's very good. The quality is extremely high. The asado, coffee, everything that I love is very good. And I'm a big food connoisseur, so I would just walk wherever I'm at, close to my apartment or the hotel, and I'll just go to different cafes, right, and sit down, talk to different people, read my books, study what I do. I'm an entrepreneur as well, so there's not enough time in the day to do everything I need to do, but I try to get it done and also perform on the court. Of course, that's my main goal and my main job.
Absolutely. And we're gonna get into that entrepreneur stuff because
Yeah, yeah.
you and I have talked offline about that, and
Yep.
I'm very interested in learning about what it is that you do there. But before we get into that, I'll give you a recommendation if you're a pizza guy. One of my favorite spots to eat pizza when I'm in Montevideo is Chepinedo. I don't know if you've been there, but you go ahead and you get yourself a pizza with faina, and that's the
Yep.
way to go. That's the way to go. So I don't
Okay.
know if you have any recommendations in terms of restaurants or
Um,
cafes that you've been to that
yeah.
I can visit while I'm there. I get there in a few weeks. So
Yeah, Las Cabras is good. It's a small cafe near San Jose, the
Okay.
street in the
Yep.
middle. There's a bunch of other cafes around there that are very good. Coffee has been amazing. The breakfast there is good. Umami is one of my new favorite spots. It's like a Japanese place across
Okay.
from Optico Living
Okay.
by the beach. Very, very good. I actually went there today. I had sushi and a Wagyu burger. So it's very good food, right? I try to explore. I've probably been to 30, 40, 50 different cafes just for different meals. And I was only here for a month and change for like 6, 7 games. And then I was fortunate enough for them to bring me back for 3 games. We got a big game tomorrow, obviously against Aguada. So definitely wanted to stay hot while we can. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then obviously, we'll see what happens after that.
Absolutely. And we're going to be putting that game live here,
Yeah.
doing the play-by-play live on Arriba Bolso for that game. So we'll definitely be yelling your name quite a bit. Now, you talked a little bit about the raucous crowds in South America while you've been playing in Chile and in Uruguay. You've also played in some raucous crowds here in the U.S. When you played in college. I'm familiar with a little bit of your college career. You played down here in Nova Southeastern, which is near where I live. How can you compare playing in, to the crowds in the States versus some of the crowds in South America?
So to be honest, man, right? Like I love the States, right? I mean, we have the best infrastructure, maybe not in the world now, obviously, but we're very blessed, right? We have things that like other countries can't fathom we have. And I think that's why it's so crucial and important for people to get out of where they're comfortable at and just go travel, man. Like you get one life on this earth, right? Whatever you believe in, and you need to spend it, accordingly. Like we all get the same 24 hours in a day. Bill Gates, Elon Musk don't get 34 hours, right? They get 24 hours, just like us. So it's about how you spend that time. And I think that's so important. And it translates to the crowds. Like you look at the NBA in the States, right? You got some big market teams that have decent crowds, the Lakers, the Nuggets, even the Grizzlies, their home games are really good. But like you got some other teams too that like the Miami Heat, I'll go to a bunch of games because I got a bunch of friends there, like play against those guys in the summer. And it's not the same, it's like different, right? It's like it's almost like a semi-opera, depending on the night and who you play. It's like let's sit there, with our drink and our food, and let's clap a little bit. You come over here, man. Like if I'm next to James Sodine, like we can't even talk. Like we got to be in each other's ear, like within like a half a meter to try and get a sentence in when we're playing Penarol, like in Penarol's arena. That's like a EuroLeague environment. And
Right,
I
right.
asked James about it. I was like, I've never played EuroLeague, but I asked him, I've seen the crowds. I know what it's like. I'm like, is this similar? And he's like, this game was crazy. And for me, like, there's nothing more than I love than, going into enemy territory. I don't care if it's Penarol, Aguada, Big Wad, just going in there, right? And just trying to ruin their night. Like there's pressure, of course, but like I don't look at basketball as a stressful job to me. I've done a corporate job, which we'll get into later. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a business. Like, it's fun to me. I go out there, I have a good time. I try to interact with the crowd and my teammates and just play free. And I think that translates to a lot of, my success here so far is like, I don't try to put that on myself because like, you don't want to feel like you're caged up. You want to play free, enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, like at the end of the day, what are you doing? In my opinion, there's a lot of people in my country in the United States where they go to work, right? Because they got to pay the bills and stuff, but like they're not happy, they're comfortable and they feel like there's nothing else better out there for them. And I don't think that's valid because I took a risk and bet on myself, and left my corporate job to come here. So it's worked out by the grace of God as it always does. But I think that's super important just in life in general, not even just basketball, but the fans here are amazing. It's indescribable.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now we've talked a little bit about Connor, the basketball player. And I want to get into Connor, the person, and
Yep.
what you do on the other side of life when you're not playing basketball. We've talked about you being an entrepreneur, so tell me a little bit about that and how that plays a role in your life.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been very fortunate and blessed, right, to be raised by two amazing parents. God bless their hearts. My dad's a certified financial planner, and my mom came up, in the automotive industry, so insurance, things like that, right? She works for my dad now, and they love it. But I've always been around like the markets, right? Not day trading, cryptocurrency, things like that. But it gets the chains moving in your head, right? You start to understand, when you're 12, 13, 14, 15, like you see these kids that are like 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, like making $1 million, off of like an hour, 2-hour trades, or they hit some coin that goes 100 million market cap. And it's quite interesting. And I think if you're like stuck up and stubborn, right, and you're not like aware of your surroundings and you see these things, like you're like, how is this possible? They hit the lottery, like it's lucky. But like when you start to see that like it's possible, right, and you start to see some big numbers and have some good weeks and months, like you just look at the world differently, right? Like money is so relative. It's a byproduct of like you really putting the work in and betting on yourself and acquiring a skill that nobody can take away from you. So for me, it really started out with trading. I trade the stock market. I'm a derivatives trader, meaning I trade futures. So primarily NASDAQ, basically the biggest tech companies in the United States. So Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, right, Microsoft, right, AMD, all the big ones. Some days I trade for 10, 20 minutes and I don't need to trade anymore. Some days I trade for a couple hours. It depends on my schedule. And I've been doing that for a little over 2.5 years now. Before that, I was into cryptocurrency. I still am heavy, right? Invest in Ethereum, Solana, some very good coins. And then obviously my brother,
Bitcoin. Yeah, if you haven't noticed. No. Solana coin it's a great coin if you haven't noticed.
It is. Yeah. Very fast utilization. Like we're going to need a lot more time to get into that, but it's about your perspective, right? And I think, the crypto led to the trading, and then the trading, I was fortunate to meet 2 of my partners now who we're launching our hedge fund in like a week, 2 weeks. So we're going to launch with, $3 to $5 million. It sounds like a lot, but that's very small in the hedge fund world. You got BlackRock and Citadel and, all these massive hedge funds that have $1, $2, $3 trillion, AUM, assets under management, 3 to 5 million small. But for us, our focus is it's owner founded, right? We all have skin in the game at the end of the day. We're all putting money into this. And this wouldn't be possible if we would have met through the trading world. So our fund is basically all algorithmic, meaning we're not trading with your money, right? We don't want to do anything with that. We have robots, if you will, algorithms that we create off of our market sentiment, expertise, so on and so forth. We back test them through heavy back testing, hook them up to a live cash account, and then allocate a certain percentage of obviously investor funds and keep a certain percentage in cash and wait for an opportunity that fits our regiment. And we're doing well so far. Like I said, we've been at this around 6-7 months now on a live account, and we're looking forward to getting a full year of data, and then 2 years, 3 years, and then slowly scaling. And I try to push the envelope, man. I don't know too many basketball players that are doing a lot of extracurricular stuff. You see like some guys in the NBA, like Pat Connaughton. He's got like $1 billion real estate fund. He plays for the Bucks with Giannis, and you got some guys obviously. But when you're talking about like the pro sports world, there's a lot of money, but not as much direction, because a lot of these guys are steered in the wrong way, I feel like, to where they should, be putting their finances and stuff. And for me, it was like, this is amazing. This kind of brings everything together, the crypto, the trading and everything, because it all meshes together. So that's my day to day. It's not just basketball. We practice in the morning here. We're 2 hours ahead, which is nice. The market opens 9:30 Eastern time, 11:30 here, Uruguayan time. So usually I miss the open 30 minutes, right? But then I'm able to trade, and then you handle the work on the court, right? Get your weightlifting in, and then I'm able to raise money for the hedge fund, right? Look at the data, things like that. So that's pretty much, what my day-to-day looks like and will look like for the foreseeable future.
That's awesome. We're gonna have to link up, man. Maybe I apply for a job in your hedge fund with my data analytics expertise.
For sure.
But I want to get to a little bit of the lighter questions here before we wrap it up. I know you got to get back to your daily routine. But have you been yet to El Gran Parque Central for a soccer game?
I have. I was very blessed to go to that one. It was Penarol Nacional. It was.
What'd you think about that?
Amazing, man. I have videos on my phone. It looks like the stadium's on fire from all the flares. I've never seen anything like that. I just sat there in awe, and I didn't sit there. I was standing up cheering, but like I was standing there like in awe because I was like, this would never be allowed in the States. Like this is crazy. It's like And it's all about, perspective, like I mentioned earlier, right? Like these fans, even at our basketball games, they got no shirts on, they have no water, and they're cheering their lungs out for the entirety of the game, right? And all they ask for after the game, is like, hey, a photo here, a high five here. Like it's crazy. It really puts everything, into context because like the fans here are just, it's different, man. It's on another level. Like, then I love the Nacional Basketball rivalry. I hope to play in their place again, obviously in our place again in the future. But it's amazing. I've never seen anything like that. Thank God we won, of course, because obviously I would have been upset and stuff. But yeah, we're playing really good. The soccer team's playing well, so it's looking good.
It is. It is. Any NBA players that you currently look up to? I know we talked briefly about the NBA. And I've been a Miami Heat season ticket holder for over 22 years. I can tell you my favorite NBA player is Udonis Haslem. People are probably gonna think that I'm a weirdo. I should probably say Dwayne Wade as a Heat lifer, but I'm a little bit biased, and I prefer the workhorse type of player that Udonis was. Is there anybody who I don't want to say mimic your game after, but somebody who you look up to or something that that you like to play like?
I'm not gonna go NBA. I'm gonna go college. So I'm gonna go with like Cooper Flag on Duke, right?
Okay.
I think I played very similar to Coop. He's not just a scorer. He's not just a rebounder. He's not just a defensive specialist. Like there's a reason this guy, cramps up so much because his energy output is so high. So like he affects the game in multiple ways. I think that's what's so unique about my game and what I try to, relegate to myself is like, when you play defense, defense leads offense. That's why I get so many transition points. When you run, your primary defender, like, he might be able to stop me a couple times in the first half. That's fine. But like, can you do that for 40 minutes? Because I will run the entire game. And I will play defense, right? And I will pass the ball and I will shoot the ball. And it's just really hard for another player, especially Americans, I feel like, to lock in and focus that much because like a lot of Americans come over to foreign markets with the perspective that like they just need to score, right? That's why they're getting paid the big bucks. Like, and it's really a lot different than that, in my opinion, because like no coach wants to say, oh, if you don't put the ball in, the hoop, you don't do anything else. Like you're one dimensional. But a lot of guys like put themselves in that basket, right, by underperforming in these other areas. And it's a super competitive job market. You're talking about playing professional basketball and making some serious life-changing money. Like there's always someone coming for your job, right? Now, if you think that or not is entirely up to you, but like that's the truth and the reality of it. So I think you need to impact the game in multiple ways. And I think Cooper does that at Duke. He's a generational talent. He's going to have a great, successful career, hopefully in the NBA, God willing. And I think what he does, I try to, and even before Coop, like I've always played like this, but now like to give you like a comparison, I think that's probably like the closest. And then in the NBA, I'm a big D Wade fan. I got a fat head on my wall, in the States, obviously in my parents' house in Maryland. So, I mean, I've been a huge Miami Heat fan before they won anything, right? I've always been a big D Wade guy. I just liked him. He's a good dude. I just liked how he played. I don't think his game mimics, mine as nearly as much as obviously Cooper. But yeah, I would go with Flag. I love his game.
Awesome, man. And spoken like a true humble gentleman, choosing the college game over the NBA game, which I love. Connor, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show and honestly to get to know you through messages and through this interview. Hopefully we can continue staying in contact and good luck tomorrow night against Aguada, or on Friday, tomorrow night against Aguada. I know it's going to be a tough game, but we'll be rooting for you, and we'll be out here calling the game.
Much appreciated, man. Appreciate your time. Looking forward to it, and vamos Nacional.
All righty. Thank you very much.
Ciao, amigo.
Arriba Bolso es la pasión, en la cancha vibra el corazón, con Nacional en el alma, no hay nada que nos desalma.